Good morning, everybody. This is a pre-market for Thursday, March 6th. Overall, what I'm seeing in the market is we are still in full bear control. Obviously, our 4-hour equilibriums are being tested now to the downside. What I'm seeing is I'm just going to use Bitcoin as the example, but Bitcoin is stronger than our current stock market. So that is notable that we are in a daily equilibrium. So that gives us a lot more time to play out. So we're just looking for a lower high than 94, 95,152. So that is our resistance to break if we want to show strength, and 81,463. We're in a bigger tightening range than the S&P. So the S&P, pretty much we just have these highs and lows of the mother candle from the day before, but we are looking downwards right now. And we are still trying to find that higher low. Looks like we are trying to put that in here, but it hasn't been set yet. And we are waiting for this pattern to break. Bears have the trend for them. The 4-hour 12 EMA is definitely becoming a problem for the bulls, and that is guiding us down. And it will guide us down and can guide us down for a period of time. We will be approaching daily oversold. Probably, I'm assuming we might be daily oversold if we can get down to this 561 previous resistance that was a big resistance before. And this is where I will be interested. I can guarantee, I don't have my volume profile up, but I can guarantee you there's a lot of shares traded in this range, 561. And we are still in very healthy consolidation mode as long as we remain above this zone. I mean, we could flush below a little bit and then close above on the week or something. But as long as we hold this zone on the week, I would say this is completely constructive consolidation, and there's nothing to worry about. We've got the 200 moving average just a little bit below us right now. But I will not be surprised if I see more downside at this time. Just the way we are set up, this is only a bounce, and no trends have been changed 4 hours, and it looks like the bears are trying to defend it. And we could easily end this week low. And I'm going to be interested as a buyer around this 561. I did buy SPY contracts for April or May. I bought at 575, and I've kind of I'm just holding on to 2 contracts, and I'm not adding to it yet. I would be interested in a new position down here, and that, like, I would kind of expect a bigger bounce somewhere around this zone just because of how much volume is here. And if the bulls want to prove themselves, I think that is ultimately where the bears are taking us. If I'm being honest, that is where the bears want to take us. They want to take us to this level, and we'll see if the bulls can defend it, and then see if that's where our daily bounce comes from or our weekly bounce comes from, and then we will gauge where that bounce comes from or where we top out on that, or if that just goes to straight V shapes to back to all-time highs. So I'm not obviously we are cautious at this time, but we're also very constructive as far as overall where we are. Like, overall in the month, if we hit that 561, we are just hitting this 12 EMA on the monthly, which has guided us up since, I would say, right down here, November of 2022. That bear market that we went through, we have been pretty much hanging out at it, or, well, we've been hanging above it. We tapped it here, touched it here, and it would make the most sense for me if we get down to this level. Just looking at it, it's just so glaringly obvious. And this is where I will get more aggressive with my bull entries and wait for the bounce, essentially. That will put us down from our all-time highs. That would put us down about 8.5%-ish. And it's just, yeah. Then a correction territory is down 10%. If we want to call this a correction, maybe we could be looking at this previous high here even. And yeah, that would give us 10%. So 8 to 10%. I'm not seeing any reason for complete panic in the market. This is just a pullback. There's no... I know they like to give reasons why we're selling off and yada, yada, yada. But the reality is we have gone straight up for a year and a half. Like, this is a crazy move. Like, in comparison, look how many months it took for this little move to happen. This was a crazy move. Like, in comparison, you look at these little months, like, these are small ranges. What this has done in that amount of time, that is crazy. We could be looking at another situation like this even. But it's way too early to tell how this is going to play out. We need to see how it reacts at the 12 moving average first. As you can see on this candle, it did dump, it tapped it, it closed way up here. And then we saw the bounce. It did bounce, it came up here, came a little higher, and then it flushed down again. So that, like, this bounce was a significant bounce. That's why I am interested in a bounce at that point. I will get into risk-free positions at that point, but that is what I'm looking at. We should be around daily oversold, coming straight off the all-time high, which should mark a month. If in a strong uptrend, it will mark a monthly higher low. And then from there, from the daily oversold, you want to see a daily trend change. Okay, so I'm trying to make this as easy as possible. I'm embracing this pullback and excited for this pullback, and there's no reason why I'm a bear yet. If we get that bounce 10%, 8 to 10% down, and we bounce, if we hit this 12 moving average and bounce significantly, or not even non-significantly, but if we do a weekly bounce, so just taking everything off here, let's just say we make it down to this level. So that would be our... So we flush down to this level, and then we bounce, and we only make it back up. So we make it down to 561. That is where I'm interested in buying, like a 561. Probably 560, a break of 560. Very interested in these levels right here. A break of that. I'm going to say definitely a break of 560. I would be interested there. And then we bounce and we go back up to 579 or 580. And that is a 3.7%, 3.8% bounce. I would definitely get risk-free, absolutely no problem in that bounce. And then that would just be our bear flag, weekly bear flag on the way back up. And then we roll over again. Then I'm more convinced that we are in a bear scenario. And like 10% is the correction if we do a weak bounce and then see another 10% on top after we break to support again. Well, now we're looking at bear market territory. Then we could start having this conversation. But if we get down 10%, we could bounce all the way up here to the bear or to the 0.386 and then kind of chop around in this level and then head back up, or chop around and then go back down. But this is the scenario that I'm most interested in and will be playing. So yeah, I'm not going to go over the stock names. Obviously, they're pretty weak right now as far as. Oh, and actually, I'm going to go over semiconductors right now. Okay, so we have ES, NQ, YM, the Dow, and the Russell all in their 4-hour equilibriums. We'll look at the semiconductors. SMH, we are breaking bear on this. This could be our telltale, and the 4-hour 12 EMA is guiding us down. This could be our telltale, and to the rest of the market, the semiconductors have been the weakest for the longest. Watch the semiconductors. They're the ones that led us up on this big run. They led us up. They might be the ones that send us back down. And overall, I'm watching this as a potential monthly head and shoulders. So we have our left shoulder, our right shoulder, our head, and our extended wonky right shoulder, but it's still a head and shoulders. This would change our monthly trend. This is a big change that has not happened in semiconductors in years. We have not seen a monthly downtrend. Let's see when the last monthly. Okay, since the April bear market, but before that, we have not seen that for years, many years. We had a little brief 1 year in December 2022, in 2022, and then we've been straight up since. But before that 2022, it was since like 2000. It's been forever. We did have a little bit of a bear market here, or not bear, but a monthly trend change, but not a lot of follow through. Yeah, so that will be significant. Here's our neckline right here. It's very glaringly obvious. Very obvious. We're coming down. We are coming down to this weekly support. But, I mean, we could be looking at an equilibrium too. Actually, I will say that this is... Odds do favor to see a weekly higher low than 199.69, so a break of 200 might be a good buy. And then if we lose that 199.61, like around low 200s could be a good buy. And then we'll see if we lose this 199.61, then that's kind of confirming this head and shoulders. But as I've been saying, this is what guided us up the entire bull market that we've had here. And it will be the thing that brings us down. If we don't need chips, then obviously there's less demand in the whole market, and we are at risk of rolling over as the full market. So bears are in full control. Our 4-hour equilibrium is breaking bear. That increases the likelihoods that everything is going to break bear. The NASDAQ, the S&P, and the Dow has been holding up a bit better, and then the Russell's just way worse. Way worse. Just because it's down 15% since its all time. We are in correction territory in the Russell and the small cap names already. This is why the new traders are feeling this pain, is because the higher risk names, the ones that are unestablished, not profitable, and higher risk essentially. And that's why crypto is down so much too, because it is a higher risk asset, and it's just speculation names. And so we are still weak. We on the IWM we have this head and shoulders glaringly obvious. We've just going straight down. Even when we do bounce on the day, we're just looking at a daily lower or a daily bear flag at that point. So we are weak on the Russell and weak on semiconductors. Semiconductors inside bar on the yesterday. So we are at risk of rolling over on semiconductors, and that would be our clue that the market is going to go down or follow down. So that's all I have to say about the regular market. I went over individual names yesterday, but I'm just going to go over crypto really quick here. So Bitcoin dominance, where are we at? We are still in this equilibrium, so Bitcoin is still holding up compared to the alts, and as long as we are in this equilibrium, nothing changes, and we are still chopping around. It's kind of we're just in a holding pattern essentially right now. Bitcoin is in a daily equilibrium, so this is a bit easier to play. We're just looking for a daily lower high than 96,484. We've made enough room for the way down. Now for Bitcoin, it's our daily 12 EMA that's holding us down, not the daily or the 4-hour EMA. So it's a little bit different on crypto on Bitcoin anyways. Bitcoin is your gold standard. This is what you should be comparing your ticker. Is it doing better or worse than Bitcoin from its all-time high, like where it is relatively? So right now, Bitcoin's it flushed below the 200 moving average and trying to hold it back on the way up. But the most important pattern is this equilibrium. Looking for a daily lower high. We've got the 50 moving average just above us. And yeah, well, we've retraced enough that we would expect a higher low than 81,500 on the way back down. So watch for this to tighten up. We've got a pretty decent sized range here. This could be range bound all into next week. So watch out for Bitcoin. We're just tightening up. Watch for volume to drop off. And this is the obvious pattern to play. We need to ideally, I'm kind of watching Bitcoin as if it might be the indicator for the broader markets. Is it if Bitcoin breaks bull? Well, that kind of makes me think maybe the broader market will get pulled up with it too, and it might be the canary in the coal mine, leading us the way. Essentially, is this depending on where this breaks for the longer term, anyways. Ethereum's just getting its daily bounce now. We've made enough room for a daily higher low, but we are still weak. The daily 12 EMA still holding us down. We're weaker than Bitcoin itself. And it just in a continued daily downtrend. So looking for a daily lower high than 2550. And we've got the 12 moving average right above us. Ethereum's been weaker for months. XRP is holding up relatively. Like we're still at this mother bar. Like we're still way up here. We're closer to its recent highs. XRP is a stronger name to be watching. Overall, everything's been going down. So I'm just saying relatively, XRP is stronger than Bitcoin, stronger than Ethereum. And now we've got this equilibrium to be looking out for. So we've got our low, lower high, higher low. Now we're looking for this lower high. It's not set yet, so we need to see where this comes from, but we've made enough room for a higher low on the way back down now. It's retraced past we pull out our retracement. We're past the 0.5. That means we have enough room to make a higher low, but you want to see it generally make it to the point, the golden pocket, the 0.65 to give yourself more conviction that you will see that equilibrium play out. So we're not there yet, but we're close. Litecoin getting its daily bounce. So far, I currently got a bit of a upper wick here. Overall, it is one of the stronger names set up for when the bounce actually happens. But obviously weak at this point, and now we're in kind of a daily bear flag. Okay, we made it to the 0.5 on the way back up. So odds do favor a higher low whenever this daily candle gets set. Volume's dropping off though. Volume's definitely dropping off on this bounce. So that is a caution to the bulls that the bears might be taking over. Hype just had this kind of, on this drop, we only made it to the 0.5. That just increases our likelihood that we would see follow through. It did. Now we're just kind of, we saw some follow through. We got an inside bar yesterday. Currently today we are in an inside bar, and the direction of this inside bar break will kind of give us more direction. If we can break through this and essentially get no daily follow through and start going upwards, that's a caution to the bears. And then we could be looking at an inverse head and shoulders, but that doesn't look like the case at this time. BNB, one of the stronger names for sure. Overall, we could be in this larger pattern here. I'm kind of looking at this like expecting a higher low than 508, but we haven't set a weekly higher low. Like this could just be like a weekly equilibrium potentially about to play out. So we're watching for volume to drop off. We need a 4-hour trend change. Oh, we got that actually. So yeah, BNB just looks better. We are, as soon as this tops out, wherever this tops out, we are looking at an inverse head and shoulders to potentially play out. We've got the daily 12 moving average is kind of guiding us down right now. So we've made enough retracement on the way back up from this high that we should see a higher low on the way back down, and that's what the most likely scenario is at this time. Solana, so far it's still a weak bounce. We got the 12 moving average right above us. So from this high, now we could see an equilibrium play out, but that's just early pattern recognition. We have a low, lower high, higher low. We're trying to set this is our range so far. We have quite a big range. Actually, well, this is technically the higher low right now. So 180.58 and 130.89 is our equilibrium range. But we need to get to this golden pocket to give us any hope that we are going to see that equilibrium play out. Ondo, much bigger bounce, weaker overall, but we are still quite a bit down from our all-time high or recent highs. Either all-time high or recent highs, I'm not sure. Looks like all-time highs, yep. But yeah, it's definitely looking like, our equilibrium is much bigger on Ondo at this time. And we are closer to its most recent high. That's one of the stronger names I'm seeing as far as relative to its most recent high. It's bounced the most. We're past the 0.786. We're in the good zone here for retracement, and potentially we could break this. But we've got the 50 moving average rate above us and this resistance. So caution on Ondo that we could be topping out here. An hourly trend change might signify that for us. Link, we actually did break it. So Link's actually stronger relative to its most recent high. We did break right into a new high, break that resistance. Now we need to see more follow through, and then we're talking about a weekly inverse head and shoulders here on Link. So that's a potential that might play out on Link now that we've broken above this. We're at the high of the week, close to the high of the week here. Okay, so that looks good on Link. Sui, see, relative to its most recent high, this is weak. One of the weaker names at this time. We're still under the 0.5. We need to get to the golden pocket, give us some hope of that inverse head and shoulders potential. Otherwise, we could be looking at an equilibrium, or if we just hit the 0.5, that increases our odds that we would just see more downside. XLM, very weak. 2 upper wicks now at this point. And we're still under the bear flag zone, the 0.382. So we are at risk of rolling over on XLM at this time. We need to get to the golden pocket, or at least the 0.5, to make this equilibrium a possibility. Cardano, we had that big news, and so far we set the daily higher low. We made it to the golden pocket. We might just tighten up here, but this daily higher low or lower high hasn't been officially set yet. We're just an inside bar at this time, but we're looking for a daily lower high than 117.5 as the most likely scenario, and we'll see where that tops out and see the retracement on the way back. Dogecoin made it to the golden pocket on this most recent high, and now we got a big wick currently at this, so we have enough room for a higher low on the way back down. We've got this double bottom here supporting us, but ideally we just see more of a bounce, and if we just get a big upper wick and then break below the low of yesterday's candle, that's a even worse look, or it's a bad look that we are going straight down. And honestly, this 12 moving average is huge resistance, very clear, huge resistance to us. H bar is standing out. Here's our most recent high, but we broke all these weak candles. We are looking for that weekly lower high, then 40.2 or 40.402, and H bar is one of the stronger relatively, because we just cleared all these days candles, and now we're trying to act as support on the 12 moving average on the way up, and the 50 here. So H bar relatively is stronger than its peers. H bar, XRP, and BNB, Cardano, and Link, I believe. Yeah, Link. Those are the stronger names I'm seeing now. Mochi, just kind of, yeah, no, we're not even set the daily high or low yet. This is looking weak. Looks like it wants to roll over. This is just controlled selling. Now we've got the 12 moving average just guiding us down. Mochi is at risk of rolling over if we lose this low. Obviously, we open up all this range. Alpha, we're getting a double bottom here, daily bounce, just a bear flag at this time. We need to get enough retracement on the way back up so that we can potentially have an inverse head and shoulders. Caspa, looks like we broke down. We did break down with no follow through yet. This low now needs to hold, otherwise we are at risk of much more downside. This is pretty thin area after this, so we need to hold that now. Otherwise we are heading back down to 0.0534, this range very quickly. So caution on Caspa. AVEX. Just being guided down by the 12 moving average. Very weak. Ton, extremely weak. I thought I was going to take this off anyways. We're just all-time lows. Trump. Just a bear flag at this time. Very much at risk of more downside. And then we're looking at the all-time lows after this breaks. Okay, I will see you for the recap. I hope this helps you. If you have any tickers, let me know and I will get back. All right, bye.